Here's the basics. Rupert Lowe, famously fanboyed by Elon Musk, is out of reform. Why? Well, the story from the reform side is that he bullied staff and made threats of violence against the party chair, Zia Youssef. The Met Police have now launched an investigation. Rupert Lowe denies any wrongdoing and says the allegations are untrue. The story from Mr. Lowe's side is that he's being pushed out because he dares to question the party's messianic leader. The rancorous war of worlds has played out across social media over the last week, and if it were possible, has somehow managed to make them appear even less ready for any kind of serious role in government.
So as a quick reminder, Reform had 5 MPs. So with the loss of Rupert Lowe, they've lost a whopping 20% of their MPs. That puts them on the same footing in the Commons as the Greens. Not that you'd be able to tell by the enormous amount of press they seem to receive. We've seen so much bluster about Reform from the right-wing press over the last few months. So what do you think, Nish? Is this going to finally shut up his cheerleaders in the right-wing press?
No, I really don't believe that it will. I think that Reform is a sort of chaotic rabble, a kind of motley crew of opportunists, gold coin salespeople and racists. I mean, during the election campaign, activists for the party were filmed on camera using racial slurs about the then Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. There's nothing about them that's ready for any serious role in government, and nothing about Nigel Farage's political career has ever suggested he has a real interest in playing any role in government. The thing about Farage is that he is a campaigner. He's not actually a political leader, but that isn't going to stop the right-wing press from cheerleading for him relentlessly. I don't see this as denting Farage because I imagine it will lead to a slew of op-ed pieces in the Telegraph and the Mail and the Sun and the Times talking about how brilliant Farage is and how Rupert Lowe was the problem. Where it could create an issue for them is this kind of issue of will Elon Musk intervene in British politics, because there was this idea that he was going to make this enormous reform donation. Then he said that Farage should step aside. His relationship seems to cleave closer to Rupert Lowe at the moment. So that's where it could cause problems for the party, though it does seem like that Farage's bridges with Musk have already been burned.
I think it's worth stating as well that the creative differences that these two are having is about whether complete actual far-right nutters should be allowed in the party. Tommy Robinson, for example. That's what this creative difference is about. So it couldn't be more grim, really. Also, the thing that kicked all of this off kind of is the right-wing press. So Lowe complained to the Daily Mail that Reform had remained a protest party led by the Messiah under Farage, right? Lowe also claimed that he himself was barely 6 months into being an MP and in the betting to be the next Prime Minister, which seems a bit much, isn't it? You've only been an MP for 6 months and you think you're going to be the next Prime Minister.
Also, everyone's in the betting for everything. That's not how betting works. I could technically say I'm in the betting for the Nobel Peace Prize.
I'll send an email, Nish.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Your odds are like several billion to 1.
Exactly.
Right, you know?
I'm in the betting to be the next James Bond. I'm putting it out there.
Okay.
I've put a bet on myself to be the next James Bond.
Oh no, we're going to see this in the mail.
I imagine it's going to be pretty weird because Jeff Bezos has taken it over. And so I guess the next Bond film is just going to be James Bond beating up climate protesters and unionised Amazon workers. Like, I imagine that's what the next movie is going to be. James Bond Union Buster. And it's going to feature, I imagine, quite an alarming sex scene with an Alexa. That's what the next James Bond is going to be. So I'm not sure anyone really wants to be a part of it. But I'm saying now, on the same logic that Rupert Lowe is in the betting to be the next Prime Minister, I'm in the betting to be the next James Bond.
I have this theory about Rupert Lowe that, he's a boomer that's online too much. I'm sure some flag shaggers and bots have said, you should be the next Prime Minister, and they've tweeted that to him. But that doesn't make it real, just like it's not real that, like, hot girls in your area are not looking to meet guys like you. You know what I mean? None of this is real.